Elise, and we have this very special guest this week. This is Hendrik, and we are just talking today about our engagement story because it's been 1 whole year since we got engaged. To the day.
Exactly to the day, yeah.
Yeah. So we just thought that we would run through the story to share it with anyone who is new on here or doesn't really know us. Also to document it for ourselves and to spend a little time together. So yes, we got engaged in New York, February 2nd, 2019. Hendrik came for a visit. I was living there again. And you came for how long? 2 weeks?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and it was right after your exams. So actually in the lead up, well, let me rewind a little bit because we met 5 years ago when I was an exchange student here. And after my exchange year, we were long distance for 4 years. And
isn't it already 6 years ago?
No, it's like nearly 5.5. But anyway, we were long distance for 4 years. And so we were traveling back and forth to see each other for little stints, and we had talked about getting engaged and what the next steps were for quite a while. And actually, while I was living in Ireland for a year, we saw each other a few times and we had some special weekends, and I kept thinking, oh, it's the time he's gonna ask me, and then no, nothing. So a few times they were still lovely visits, but I kept thinking like, oh, why is taking him so long? Did you feel that way?
No. I didn't feel that way. No, it was, I just didn't feel that the time or the place was right at the moment to get engaged, so.
But keep in mind, I knew for a long time that you had a ring.
Right.
Because you had told me one time that you were shopping.
Yes.
Like 6 months before you actually asked me. So it was a long time coming. And then, so you had your exams in February, and you were studying a lot. You were very busy, so I just thought, yeah, there's no way he's had time to pull something together. I'm not going to get my hopes up. We're just going to enjoy our time together in New York and see what happens next. So you came for a visit, and a few days in, you had organized the whole thing with my parents. Because I had always said, you don't need to ask my parents' permission, but I would like if they were involved with the ask. But you formulated the whole plan, like, before you arrived.
Yeah, but I didn't have a fixed plan when I told your parents. I haven't lived in New York long enough to say where the great spots are to get engaged. And I just knew from online sources that, like, the most famous ones, like Central Park or Empire State Building. But I didn't want to do that because that was kind of too normal. You
wanted to do something specific and special for us, and you are a ship captain, and we've always gravitated towards water and boats and things like that whenever we're on vacation. So my mom, I think, suggested a sailboat in the New York Harbor, and you organized the whole thing. But bear in mind, I had given up hope that you were going to propose to me because I was like, he's taking forever, it's not going to happen, he's too busy. So I was just convinced, like, yeah, we're just going to enjoy our trip in New York. And then you casually mentioned, oh yeah, like I organized this boat tour for us because we've spent lots of time in New York together, and we are always trying to find new things to do in the city because there's so many different excursions. And I was like, oh my god, who takes a boat tour in February? Like, I was like, this is insane, it's so cold. It was like
that was the thing though. When I booked it or planned it, I didn't really think about the weather or the temperature conditions. So I actually just thought about, oh, it's probably gonna, like, the only thing I'm worrying about is if it's raining or if it's not. That was the only thing. I didn't even think about the temperature.
Yeah, but it was freezing. The harbor had like a sheet of ice that had them like big chunks of ice. Right. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. And you had said, oh, this is like a boat tour. There's gonna be like 8 other people there, I think. And I was like, no one's gonna wanna come. It's gonna be so cold. They're all gonna cancel. And we arrived and it was so cold. And like, again, we were the only people standing at the dock. So I was like rubbing it in his face that I was right, basically. Little did I know the whole thing was just special for me. And then, yeah, so we got on the boat, and the captain was lovely, and we sailed out to the foot of the Empire State Building.
I went to Statue of Liberty.
And then they said, well, this is normally when we take a group photo. Do you guys want a photo of just the two of you? And I was like, all right. So like, we make our way up to the front, and I start like taking selfies and looking around, and you were like being funny, but like it still hadn't occurred to me that I might be proposed to. Like, I was like so oblivious to the whole thing.
That was weird. I didn't think that you would be, because there were some obvious moments where I think you could have catched it that this is gonna happen. I mean, I already thought, how am I gonna sell you the whole idea of going on a boat in February? And like, because also we always talked about engagement, and so I thought, do I tell her that we're going on a boat, I booked something, and is she then already going to assume that we're getting engaged? Or is she just too blind because I made it not clear before? Or like, I made it clear that I didn't have time to figure it all out.
But I think too, like, I was just not looking for it, which I'm really hard to surprise. I am someone who always notices details and then like, hey, what's going on there? So I've never been so surprised in my whole life as I was that day, because I think I just like put it out of my head. And so then we're sitting up at the front of the boat, and you're like fidgeting. I'm like, hold still, I want to get a picture. Where's the girl with our camera phone? And then all of a sudden you like turn in front of me, you're on one knee, and the like assistant to the captain was there with like a real camera, like taking photos, and it was just like, it really did catch me off guard. But I was so cold, like my tear ducts were frozen, like I couldn't, like I felt like I wanted to cry, but it like wasn't happening. It was so flippin' cold.
It was very cold, but I was glad that it was at least sunny. Like,
it was really nice.
In the rain it would have been not really special, but the temperature then made it kind of even more special. Yeah,
and like to see the New York skyline. And actually, before we got engaged, once I had said, like, I don't really care if it's like, you know, in front of lots of people or just the two of us in a private room. Like, it's whatever you think is best. And he was like, I think you know me well enough to know it's just gonna be the two of us. I'm not gonna do it in front of a big crowd. And I was like, oh yeah, like I should know that. But then the like big ships of like all the New York tourists that were like going past the Statue of Liberty like saw and started clapping, and I was like, haha, I got my applause. Because I'm definitely the showman of the two of us, so it was like, it was a perfect mix of the two of us. So then after we got off the boat, we had already booked in a night at the 50 Bowery, which is one of our absolute favorite hotels in New York. It's in Chinatown, and it was so great because it was also the time of Lunar New Year, so it was like a very great, lively time to be in Chinatown. And actually earlier in the day we had gone for dumplings, and my fortune said like, what is it? It said something like, your love life will soon be harmonious.
Wasn't it also something about close to the sea?
Yeah, so my parents also were helping you come up with ideas, and they were like, oh, it's Chinese New Year, you guys love Chinatown, why don't we put something like in a fortune cookie? Like, and you had the fortune cookies with you, but it wasn't like the main part of the plan. It was kind of like an extra thing, which was so nice. So you were pulling, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to fight.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
You were pulling the fortunes that were in there out, and it was like, you will soon find happiness by the sea, or something really like weirdly serendipitous. And then you inserted in little fortunes and said, will you be my penguin forever?
Yes.
And it was very sweet, and it just like, the whole thing blew me away. I always thought that we would get engaged on our travels when it would just be the two of us somewhere. But I was surprised how much I really valued and appreciated getting engaged in New York, because getting engaged here is not as big of a deal, here in Switzerland anyway, is not like such a huge theatrical moment like it is in the States. And then I really loved getting to spend the evening having a drink with my parents, and then we went upstate and had dinner with all my like aunts and uncles. I saw all my cousins that live in the city, and like we really got to see my whole family, which was really special, especially since now those visits are more and more precious because they're more spread out and fewer as the years go on, as life goes. So it was just a really special day. I can't believe it was a year ago.
Man, that's crazy.
All right, well, thank you all for watching. We just wanted to share this little snippet of our story with all of you. Thank you to Lovey for agreeing to film the video. I know it's not really your thing, but I appreciate your love and support. I'll see you next week. He probably won't see you again for like 6 years. He's like so over the filming.
Yeah. No, I don't.
The people have asked for you.
It's no.
If you want Hendrik to be more videos, you have to comment below.
Yeah, you can try.
Bye.